Welcome to Sweeping the Country one more time, and welcome to 2024, Jimmy. I mean, brand new year, clean slate. Here we go.
2024.
Man.
I like the sound of that. I had no love for 2023. It sucked all the way to the end.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it really did. It sucked all the way to the end. I had my first traffic accident in, I don't even know, 40, 50 years.
I got to ask you,
college.
People listening right now are going to say, oh, a traffic accident, fender bender, whatever. But the pictures that you sent me, and I don't expect you to share them at all, but if people could see, it was not a fender bender. I mean, that car.
No, it was a high speed, interstate highway, hit the guardrail, come to a stop type thing. And don't know how it happened, but the point that it happened. And I came out of it okay. The car didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm more PTSD'd in it than anything else.
Oh yeah, that'll mess with you. Yeah.
Oh my God, that happened. You see that flash before you and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I mean, as my family would be the first to say, they were glad that I wasn't killed or hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I wasn't killed or hurt, and
I am too.
I was very lucky, and I had a good car wrapped around me, but it's just still, it's 2023 sucked.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd had car trouble in 20 or 30 years. I mean, it was a year for firsts that weren't necessarily good first.
I agree with you. We went back to work on Tuesday and back into the studio, and one of the first things we were talking about, how did everybody's New Year's go, and how did everybody's Christmas? And here comes the stories, and I thought, man, this is depressing as heck. One of the guys I work with, the dog somehow got let out. A little tiny dog, and they never saw it again. And, it's been 3 or 4 days. And I just think about that, and I think about all the things that happened in 2024 or 23, from the, the mess on the streets to, the older we get, the more people we lose around us.
This story here, this brings this up, and I think a lot of people have seen this particular music group over the years, whether you listen to country or not.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the song Elvira.
Oh, yeah. Oak Ridge Boys.
By the Oak Ridge Boys.
Sure.
And Joe Bonsal was the lead singer on that song.
Mm-hmm.
And he has now officially left the Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh, geez.
And I just had no idea that this was going on. I'm reading his statement that came out this week that said, many of you know, and I didn't, and these are people that I've just been close to over the years. I feel like the worst friend in the world today. I really do. I said, many of you know I've been battling a slow onset over the last 4 years now of a neuromuscular disorder. I am now at a point where walking is impossible.
Ooh, boy.
So I have basically retired from the road. It has just gotten too difficult. It's been a great 50 years. I'm thankful to the band and the crew, and la la la. Please, give your love to the young man named Ben James, who's singing for me out there. He needs your love and encouragement. Wow.
Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
So, and then what do you know? Here's a question for this type of podcast. All right. When we get through here, do I text him?
Yeah.
And tell him I had no idea? And say, thinking of you, and
I
don't.
That's a tough question, because on one side of the coin, you don't want him to think you didn't know, but on the other side, he may know you didn't know. I mean, I don't know how close to the chest he's been playing it. I mean,
well, we have not been. We communicate during special times, and I've been. I have a career in Nashville that's 40 years long anyway, right?
Yeah, at least.
And they were a big part of it early on, because they let me in. I mean, they were kind to me, early on. And I was in a music video of theirs, because I guess it loves to hurt sometime. I used to go on the road with them. That's the first group I'd ever gone on the road with.
Wow.
Slept on the bus with them, on the band, with them.
Yeah, Jimmy,
in the bus.
You got. I mean, you know what you just said to me. I just thought, if I were Joe, and I've talked with Joe. He's the nicest guy in the world. They all are. All the Oak Ridge Boys have been nice to me too. I don't know them like you do, but since you do, I think, as you were talking about it, and you were saying, "Gosh, you've meant so much to me over the years. I went on tour with you first. You guys, let me in." I think those are great things to even say to him, even when you reach out. Hey, I couldn't believe the news when I saw it, and it hurts my heart. And, you know, thank you for all you've done for me. And I think that breaks the ice. He's not, yeah, you got it. I think you got it.
Time is another one thing about this.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been that long since Plant City, Florida, a couple of years ago. Maybe, I just remember going down there with somebody, and we went to see the Oak Ridge Boys at the Strawberry Festival near Tampa. And I'm on stage, with them over on the side, taking a lot of pictures and, and just enjoying it. And just anytime I'd ever been with them, we all talked politics and everything else. And
sure.
It just, I mean, you just hate it when, number one, that we're all getting older, and every day that passes, we do not know when our last day is. I realized that on Christmas Eve when I had my wreck. That could have been my last day.
Yeah, it very well could have.
I certainly wasn't ready for my last day. As I read this about Joe Bonsal, I'm totally shocked that he's now impossible to walk, that it's that far along that he can't be out there on stage. I mean, I just said, my good Lord, has it been that long since I've been around them and seen them?
I heard something interesting the other day. When you say that, has it been that long? I heard something interesting the other day coming from an older person. They said the hours go slow, but the years fly by. And I thought that's interesting, for someone maybe that's by themselves and older.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, I think so too. And you think about it, you just said, it was a couple years ago. Jimmy, that was probably 5. Man, I don't know how many years. I can't keep track.
It could be. I mean, I'm sitting there, I look at my granddaughter.
Yeah.
I have 2 sets of granddaughters, an older set and a younger set.
Mm-hmm.
And the younger set, she's now in kindergarten, I guess. And she's coming up, I guess, her birthday when it happens later. Maybe she'll be 5 this year.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's just she's just a little bitty wad of baby there just a minute ago.
Right.
And now
just
she's already,
a minute ago.
Oh my God.
That's it.
I don't know. It's just you're right. Time goes by, and then you look at things that have happened before, you watch sporting events, and you remember going to the Rose Bowl and parking out in somebody's yard, whenever that was, and and going to the game and remember what it looked like and all, and just remembering all the things you've done in your life. And it seems like you've been alive 100 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, I agree. I saw a guy.
Sometimes you slow down a minute, and you try to let some of those years catch up for a second, and then you see things. It really disturbed me seeing this about Joe Bonsal. Those are the nicest 4 people.
Yeah, I agree.
And just didn't give a clue. And William Lee and I, we go back and forth saying hello and, showing pictures because he likes photography.
Yeah.
And then Richard, he's just fun to talk baseball with. And his wife, Donna, is so nice. We were caught in a crowd together at Garth Brooks' concert with 1 million people getting through. And we ran for our lives and caught a taxi together. And
I love it.
It's just Dwayne Allen and his wife, Nora Lee, who's a background singer at the Opry. And just, they played practical jokes on me. I gave them a set of The Godfather, I think, one time for the bus one year, or James Dean or something. I don't remember. Yeah. But anyway, we've had a long relationship, and I've got to reach out to him today. But geez,
yeah, you got to.
It's neuromuscular. I mean, I've had, myself. I'm 6'3", 240, 250, or whatever I am. I'm not a little person. And my back has had problems this year.
Yeah, sure.
Last year. And, you say, and I can't quite do some days everything that I used to could do. I couldn't run down the street right this minute. I could walk down there. But it just shows you with Joe how, man, you just start saying, things happen. You just don't know. I didn't think about, I don't remember, when I couldn't run or do that. But then all of a sudden you can't. Yeah. And it's just, whoa. Yeah. It's sobering. It's really sobering.
It is.
And we live in a sobering time. I know my parents before me, and I'm certainly, God knows what their parents. I mean, that if you think about who your grandparents are at this point, right now in 2024, when they were, grandparents, it was 1924.
God, it's so different.
And look at the world. It couldn't be any more different if we'd gone off into space.
Yeah, I
The
would
world
agree.
has nothing to do with each other from the last 100 years.
Yeah, I would agree. It would be a foreign land to most of our parents and grandparents.
Everything. From the places we live, the environments we live in with the air conditioning and the heat, to the paint we have on the wall, to this technology.
Hey, yeah, to self-driving cars.
To be there, and I'm here. It's just crazy.
My grandmother never had a driver's license her whole life. My grandfather drove her, or she took the bus. That was her whole deal, right? And to see now cars, and they're not commonplace, but just the thought of a car driving itself that really exists, it really does exist, would blow her mind. It would blow her mind.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. But how I feel about that. I think that's about the dumbest use of brain power that we've ever done.
I told you,
put these people on cancer research, or trying to help Joe learn back to walk again and quit worrying about autonomous cars.
Yeah.
So you can have your pizza delivered I don't know,
via drone.
Stupid.
You and I have talked about many times on this show, and I got to bring this up because we've talked about it so much, about the electric cars and infrastructure not being there and all this stuff. Well, we bought a hybrid car about a month ago, which is electric, and gas.
Yeah, those are okay.
Yeah, I really think I think that's the next thing. I mean, people aren't quite ready to commit all the way to the other, but and we have a port where you got to charge it, but you don't have to. The car will charge itself. But if you want 400 horsepower, you plug that thing in, and then you got the battery power to go even faster, right? And so I wanted the fast. So we were looking for a place to charge from here to Arizona. Jimmy, we must have stopped at 6 places. Half the chargers didn't work. The other half of the places...
I've heard that particular...
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I've lived it. The other half were Tesla only, so we don't have a Tesla, so we could not charge there. We ended up at Walmart behind about 8 Rivian trucks waiting in line to charge for an hour or two. So think about that, 16 hours sitting there if it was one charge. There's about 4 chargers, so we would have been sitting there for 7 or 8 hours. We finally got lucky, and we went to a hospital, and we found a charger off the side of one of the hospitals for, I don't know if it was for the employees or what, but it was free. We didn't pay, and we charged our car there. By the time we did all that, we said, let's just get a hotel. We don't have time. It's 10:30.
All because of people wanting to get rid of the gasoline
engine.
I mean, really.
I'm telling you, it ain't ready yet. It is not ready.
No.
I don't know when we'll be ready, and I do think the hybrid is probably the next best thing if people want to do their part or whatever. But electric ain't, it's not ready. It's not. And that's from here to Arizona.
Let's just say you do the hybrid, you have less gas, have fewer gas stations. When you have fewer gas stations, you'll have a higher price for the gasoline.
That's true too.
And then that's going to screw up the economy. Either way you do it, we've got a great system as it is right now.
Yeah.
And I just have not been convinced that we alone with the gas engine is what's going to screw up the world.
No, I have to agree.
I think it's a bunch of load of crap. And I think these companies, Ford and a bunch of them, are getting ready to take a big old suck in the stomach. Mm-hmm. They've already taken it. They're going to take another one.
Oh, sure.
So it's because people don't want this stuff. And if people had do any due diligence at all before they're immature and just buy one, you're going to see that, if you don't go anywhere, if you don't do anything.
Yeah, if you're in the city.
If you just go from home to work and that's all you use a car for, okay.
Yeah.
But some of us do a lot more than that.
All I could think about was how crazy you would have gone. Because I know how you drive, and you would have been the anxiety that I felt going, I need juice. We're running out of juice. Yeah. And passing gas stations going, well, if I had a gas, I could get gas right there. But
and plus, if you had gas, you'd be in and out of the gas station in 5 minutes.
Right. All of that. But anyway, I just wanted to pass that on.
5 hours, if you did find a charge.
Right, exactly.
It's just stupid. Yeah. It really is stupid.
Okay.
And it's made those decisions are made by people that don't live in the real world.
Yeah.
They live in a town like Washington, don't have a car, and they're making decisions for people that do. And it's just crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy. But yeah, going back to the Oak Ridge Boys for just a minute, many years. I mean, there's people listening right now, generations, Jimmy, of their music. Even if you didn't like country, you didn't like gospel, or you didn't like rock, or whatever you want to call it, they did it all. And they did it well, and they did it the whole time with dignity, and they were kind, and they weren't arrogant. None of it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
great guys. Great guys.
Great
So,
show.
yeah.
This is going to be funny this year. The movies have gotten all messed up, and frankly, television too, because of the strike, of
Yeah.
COVID,
Mm-hmm.
of people's changing habits, and all this stuff like that. So, some people thought TV was dead, TV's dead. Well, 32 million people,
Yeah.
which is a big number for any history of television of the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
32 million people watched the Alabama-Michigan game at the height the other night.
And you were one of them, and I was one of them. God, was that good.
32 million, and that's a big number. That's a big number. So sports still brings us together as a country as close as anything can.
Yeah, I agree.
The New Year's Eve. It's amazing to me the number. They used to put bowl games on New Year's Eve, and I think the parents and I think the teams were mad about that. I don't know why. I thought it was a great time to have a bowl game on New Year's Eve myself, but anyway, it wasn't. So they took all of them off, and then put them on early on New Year's Eve, like 3 o'clock or something, and you're through. But these music things, Seacrest the other night, I think he had 22 million.
That's a high number.
For that show. That's a big number. It was the highest in 3 or 4 or 5 years for them. CBS had a country thing from Nashville, and they had it the height right there at midnight when they did Sweet Home Alabama with Leonard Skinner. They had 11 million.
That ain't
Most
bad.
of the time it was 8 million. That's a big number too.
Yeah.
And how interesting is it that all these people are home and watching television, and not out? It used to be that was the mandatory night out to go out if you didn't go out any other night in the year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Not anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah, you'd usually hit a party or two or go to a show or do something out to dinner.
Yep.
I just
big night to do. I've done them all, all those different things over the years, and not anymore. It's amateur night. They ain't going to go out there with the fools.
Amateur night. I like that. I got to remember that. Amateur
And what's
night.
Interesting too, the Rose Parade. I was looking here at something. NBC. There may have been more than one outlet for that, but the outlet I'm thinking about here is NBC.
Yeah, I watched
hosted
it
by Al Roker.
Yeah, I watched 2 different versions. They had the same camera setup, sorta, and then 2 different. You can watch it on 2 networks at least that I saw. But yeah, Roker did.
Al Roker got chewed up in social media.
Did he really?
How crazy! Oh yeah, they were not amused by his. They called it the weatherman's banter.
Interesting.
He was rhyming, and here's the guys with the ropes, and then he'd do some kind of funny little quip. It was written, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would think
written,
so too.
Written because he's not ad-libbing that. Somebody wrote it, and they just think it was corny and one-liners and all that. It just shows you the generational cliff that we have been on for a while, and it's gonna hit. That's what 2024 is going to be about.
I remember
it's the generational hit.
I agree with you. I remember one of the jokes he told because I was watching it. It was a float with a bunch of bees on it. I can't remember what it was for. And he said something, do you know what a bee's favorite musical group is? And Hoda said, no, I don't know. And he said, Sting. And I thought it was kind of lame that way. But I expect that from Roker. I don't expect him to be a stand-up comedian.
But see, a newer generation, which is, I guess they count it 17 or 18 to 25 or 26.
Yeah.
They don't get that.
Are they watching that show, though? I mean, I don't think my kids.
Those that were, they were lighting up Twitter and all that stuff.
I thought it was fun.
They didn't want all the quippy commentary. They just wanted to look at the flows.
Okay, but you know what I'm surprised at? I'm surprised that the woke culture that we live in didn't light them up for using fava beans to decorate when they could have fed people.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm sure if you dug a hole far enough, you'd get that. But I think you're going to see the generational push. We're living longer.
Yeah.
And there are older people out there that are working. And look at all the classic rock people that are still going. Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney and Al Roker, who's 69.
Yeah, boy.
I can name a lot of people
that
are in their 70s and in their even in their 80s, Willie Nelson, and on and on and on.
Oh yeah.
The Dolly Parton. You've seen all those people this year, last year, be very successful.
Yeah, that's right.
So now you've got a young generation that's got what they think is country music, which really has not even, I don't even know if it's even a relative, the stuff that's out there right now.
Fair enough.
You could go back and listen to what was called the classic country, which would be Willie and Waylon and Glenn Campbell and Marty Robbins and Porter Wagoner and and even Buck Owens and Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
George Strait, I might add, Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, and there's nothing even. They're not even in the same ballpark for them.
Jimmy,
is the quality of the singing. Is the technical musician that's playing it or anything. It's like bad rock.
Yeah, but we have Garth Brooks, who remains as popular as he could ever be, and I don't get it. I don't know what that magic thing is that he has that keeps him relevant, but something. I mean, he's here he is. Selling out shows.
And George Strait's still out there playing. They're all these oldies guys.
Yeah,
all those are still at their audience, but I don't know. It's just very interesting because I think there's a lot of discrimination going on that's much deeper than black and white. I think there's a lot of age discrimination that's going on. You're too old, you got to go. I think that may be worse than some of the other things that are out there right now, because people are living longer and they can contribute, but you've got newer people in charge and they're going to, you're gone.
I don't think that's too far off from the truth. I was in one of the grocery stores here, a local large chain, and it was a Tuesday, and it was senior day. And I'm not old enough to be senior, but I had grown my beard out, and it's got a lot of gray in it. And the gal said, "Oh, hang on." I paid, and she said, "Oh, hang on." I said, "What?" And she was a younger gal, and she said, "I forgot to give you the senior discount." And at the first, I was mad about it because I thought, do I look that old? And then I thought, well, hell, it's 20% off. I'll take it. So I didn't say anything. She didn't ask for my ID.
What was the senior considered to be?
I think 65. So I didn't, I don't think I look 65, but maybe do I look 65?
I don't know. Some look at some of these people that look at Rod Stewart. He's way in his high 70s.
That is true.
And he looks like he's older, but he doesn't look like he's nearly 80 years old.
Well, on a flip side of that too, I have trouble telling if you're 12 or 17.
Yeah.
I can't tell, so maybe the younger generation can't tell how old we really are. I don't know.
Just wait till it gets right. When push comes to shove this year. You watch, because you've got these old white men that are running for office for president of the United States.
Oh God,
old white man. You couldn't get any whiter, and you couldn't get any older than these guys.
It's true.
And are the young people going to put up with that at all? Are they not going to start? Is the temperature not going to rise at some point this year when they say we're going to be led by one of these two
buffoons
guys
or whatever? Yeah, you're right. I mean,
and
you're right.
So it'd be very interesting to see if the young people are going to rise up and speak out.
I do think you're right about that. I mean, as long as we're making somewhat of a prediction, I think you're right. And the other factor that I think plays into that is they have the numbers now. So if you start thinking about the older people dying off, the baby boomers are going to die off. That was the big population. Once that goes, they will have, in fact, they may already have the numbers. I haven't checked. They may already have the voting numbers to say whatever they want.
You got to want to participate, though.
That's true.
Sometimes they have not.
That's true.
And so that's going to be it's just that I think people are so sick of hearing about Trump, and they're sick of hearing about Biden.
Yeah,
they're sick of both.
Are. Yeah,
they really are sick of both, and in equal proportion. So one of the others is going to win at this point because they can't be beat. What people are trying to say is they can't. They mean it, though. I know they mean it.
Yeah,
is they don't want either one of them, but they want what they represent.
Yeah,
what
I
their
agree.
policies are, and but again, the only people with those policies are those two people, and no one else can seem to get close. And you still got so much crazy stuff. How in the world can California afford to give health insurance to every
I
migrant
saw
that
that.
comes
I
in
saw that.
when you've got regular people that don't have health insurance,
They
that are
can't.
citizens?
They're just imploding. I think California, and I'm sorry to say it, and I have a lot of friends there, and it's a beautiful place, and it used to be.
Yeah.
It's imploding, Jimmy. You can't. It's just like the Fed that keeps printing money. We're 34 trillion in the hole right now, or something like that. I mean, and they're talking about another 3 in 2024, 37, $40 trillion. That's not. At some point, we have to pay the piper, and the same goes for California. At some point, they're going to run out of people that can afford to pay those taxes to sustain, those kinds of things. But absolutely ridiculous. I cannot
Crazy.
believe they even proposed that, and I don't know if they vote on that kind of thing or not. But somehow it passed, or somehow is.
But you just look at the things going on in the country, just from the crazy political ideas that are on the left coast, always been crazy though,
Yeah, and
to
both
the
coasts.
border situation that's just an open gash on a body that's just bleeding.
Yeah.
And, but all these people down in South America, they see, the land of opportunity, and here they come, and how can you not blame them? But still, you can't do it. We can't support it. We can't, it's going to take us all down. So at some point, you got to decide, are we going down, or are we going to have to let somebody else go down? It's the Titanic type thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to save yourself in the lifeboat, or are you going to make room for somebody else?
Yeah, boy.
And
you're right. I mean, you're right about it. And I don't know where 2024 goes. Obviously, it's an election year, so it's going to be one of those years. I hope we like it better than 23, but I never like the election year. I always get sick and tired, like you're talking about, of the politics. I'm already tired of it right now. And I know we haven't even got started. This is tip of the iceberg, but I think people are ready for just give us a candidate who is not Trump and is not Biden. Give us just one that we can look at and go, okay, this person, male, female, black, white, I don't care. A person that we can look at and go, okay, they got some great ideas. They want what's best for all of us, and let's put them in the White House and see what happens. I don't know.
I mean, the country's been in this position before.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have all this Twitter type things. Not Twitter, because Twitter's broken and it's a mess. But, social media, Facebook, all that stuff, all that cesspool that can certainly be of hate and wrong and lack of facts and information and fake news and everything else. But it's just, whoa, you got to wonder, where's this going to take us this year? Because we are going to have elections, and we are going to continue to have fights in Israel, and we are going to have people that are continuing to be anti-Semitic. What is that about? And we have the people that hate Al Roker. I mean, who hates Al Roker?
I don't. I don't know what he's
I don't like. He's not my thing, but Lord of mercy, get that passionate about Al Roker, please.
You got nothing better to do. That's all I can think of.
And I watch, and I'm detached from movies. So disappointing. I watched Maestro.
Oh, was that any good? I had to be. I thought maybe I better not watch it. I don't know.
It's I think Bradley Cooper played the conductor. I mean, everybody, all the technical things of that movie are first class.
Yeah.
The acting, the sets, the everything else. I thought the movie was way too slow, and I just didn't care at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I take that not with a grain of salt. I mean, I take that as Bible coming from you, being somebody that reviewed movies for years and years and years. I mean, that was part of your professional career.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at that and I go, okay, I'm not going to see it. I looked at some of the movies coming out this year that haven't come out yet but are coming out. I think 90% of them are prequels, sequels, or remakes.
They are.
There's nothing original. Yeah.
Superheroes or something.
Yeah.
I watched this Mark Wahlberg movie on Apple Plus, and it was pretty good, called A Family Plan.
Oh, I saw it.
Comedy.
I liked it.
Lighter than Chiffon.
Yeah.
But it was in 90 minutes that, just was good playing to park my brain for a minute.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I watched Equalizer 3.
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to be violent and everything, but
Yeah.
Denzel Washington is such a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
And I remember, honestly, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I watched those Death Wish movies with
Charles Bronson,
what's his
man.
name?
Charles
Charles
Bronson. Yeah,
Bronson.
I watch those
And there was something about those movies that were appealing. I don't know.
He
The people
was
there obviously was.
he was that vigilante. He got the bad guy,
Yeah,
man. That was what I liked about it. I mean,
me too.
he kind of had enough and
the
took care
good
of it.
guys won for a change.
Yeah,
The
right.
good guys won for a change.
Right.
And what else I saw? I rewatched it again and again. Someone said, "Well, that movie's weird." I guess, yeah, I guess it is. I love this movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I have
the
not seen it.
Tarantino movie.
I haven't seen it. Because I heard that it wasn't great.
I finished my third or fourth time.
Okay, so I'll watch it. Because
I love the music in it. I love the story.
Yeah.
I love to look at Los Angeles the way that Quentin Tarantino has put it together in the 60s.
Okay.
I mean, from the movie theaters to everything he created, to get that look back.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're in the 60s.
He's good.
In LA.
He is good. I mean, his movies are a little strange, but he's great at what he does.
And Leo DiCaprio was great performance from him, and great performance from Brad Pitt, and great performances from Margot Robbie, who is just the hot number right now.
Yeah, I'll give it
Barbie.
to you.
So anyway, that was fun. I watched that again. I finished up The Crown.
Good. I've heard that's great.
I finished that up. It's slow.
Yeah.
But I finished it up. It was nice ending.
Have you seen Jamie Foxx, Tommy Lee Jones, The Burial?
No.
It's pretty good. He's in.
Oh, that's one about a lawyer?
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is an attorney.
On it. Something about it just didn't. Just one of those movies you disconnect from quickly.
It's pretty good. It's based on a true story about a.
I know it is. I've seen the story.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into it for whatever reason.
Oh, God.
Trying to think what else it was that I did. I finished.
Did you watch Barbie?
There is. I never did. I almost
Jimmy,
did.
you got granddaughters and daughters.
I know that they did. I heard it was. I don't know. I just can't imagine me sitting there watching Barbie.
I want to say something that's going to lose my man card right now, but it was pretty good.
Well, I don't doubt it. I mean, I love pretty girls and they're jumping around. I love Margot. She is just. She's perfect.
Yeah, she's pretty much. She's Barbie.
She's a brain too. Barbie. She's really smart.
Is she? I didn't know
she was the producer of that film and everything.
They did a good job at least making you believe that it was a real life Barbie, but it was pretty good.
She's something. And I liked her in the TV. It was a pilot for a TV show. It didn't make it, but it was called Pan Am.
Oh,
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I actually worked for Pan Am.
That show was way beyond its time. It was really good.
It was good,
but it didn't make it.
I worked for Pan Am for about 3 years out of San Francisco, and before they went bankrupt. I was in my teens, and when that show came out, I thought, man, that's great. I'm going to watch this show, and then it just disappeared. I forgot she was in that.
It was expensive to make, and it just didn't get a rating.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
People just didn't care.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
I don't think any other TV things. The TV shows are about to come back, by the way, next week. I believe that. Around the 15th, 17th is when they're going to come back.
So they've already been in production?
The week after.
They've been
they've been in production for weeks.
Good. I'm ready.
I'm
ready
for
it.
FBI's and Chicago shows and all those things come back in February.
Okay, before we go, I got to ask you one thing, one bucket list thing, because I know you haven't done everything or seen everything or owned everything. You've done a lot. I'll give you that. One thing you want to do in 2024 before the year end. One thing. Small goal, big goal, doesn't matter.
I was going to do a whole thing on that about this time before we got sidetracked, is setting goals. Because if you don't set goals, you can't accomplish them.
Yeah.
If you don't know where the end zone is, you can't score a touchdown.
God, you're right about that.
So you do need to set goals. And I know I want to. I haven't done it yet. My goals are short term right now. Try to get my back and my sleep and some of these things that have been out of whack. Get those back into whack.
Yep.
And get my car thing back. Where I have my car and just to get all my little pieces of the puzzle back together that were strewn apart.
Fair enough.
In 2023, but I do want to go on some kind of road trip out west.
Come on. I got a spare bedroom. If you can see in the background here, that door leads to a spare room, and it's got its own bathroom and all of it. So anytime, you know that.
There's going to have to be some time taken off or something at some point because time ain't getting any more. They're not adding any more time on your time card. So, at some point you just have to take off.
Yeah.
And that may be what has to happen. I was hoping to take some time off around now.
Yeah. It's quiet right now.
The one thing that's happened is, we haven't had winter yet, which is very weird.
It is strange.
Have you really had winter yet?
Not at all. I got a flurry of snow today, and that would be the second time we've got a flurry. And normally we'll have snow on the ground.
January 3rd. You're usually up to your butt.
No, it's nothing. I mean, it's a spring day out there for us. I mean, it's nice. So I don't know if it's still coming or if we're not going to get it.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I mean, that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Very weird. So, I want to come out. I'd like to take some pictures in the West, do some photography, and see if we can get that done.
Yeah, well, come on. My door's always open. I'd love to have you. And
someone had a tree they showed a picture of with like 12 eagles in it or 15 eagles in it.
They're
somewhere
out
in northern
everywhere.
Idaho.
I was just back from Arizona, as you know, and was standing in the driveway, and my mom and I were out there, and we watched 3 rabbits just come blazing right by through the desert. And they live in the desert. I mean, there's nothing but sand.
Yeah.
And we just watched them zip on by. And so, these animals are out and they're doing stuff. It's not, like a normal winter. So I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, if the weather's good, make your way west. We're here. We'll take time off
that's
too.
one thing I want to do some good photography this year, but gotta just get the year going. Get the year going.
Keep it simple. I want to do one thing, and I'll ask you. This is my one thing. I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I don't know if it's worth it. Should I go to Mount Rushmore?
It's a long way out of the way from things,
Yeah.
For
worth
a couple of
seeing
minutes
or
looking
not?
at something.
Okay, so no, don't go.
Maybe, but it's out of the way, man.
No, you were right about the Grand Canyon. You were right about the Plymouth Rocks, all that. I mean, it's. All right, I'll just look at pictures. I'll keep it.
But there are things that are worth seeing if you're listening to me. Unfortunately, the city is a disaster, but so much beauty in San Francisco.
God.
It's my Paris of the United States.
You gonna go all the way west and go to San Francisco? You think?
No, I don't know. I hate that San Francisco's gone to crap.
Well, you got to get your car back first, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy.
We'll see.
Well, always a pleasure, and giving us a lot to think about as usual as we start 2024. And have a great week and a weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Good day.
Good day.